If you're anything like me, we've all been in the situation where our family members have totally sabotaged our diet. Here we are, eating salads, being so healthy, doing our thing, and there's your husband saying, "Do you want to eat pizza?" Like, bitch, obviously I want to eat pizza, and now that you're asking me in my weak moment, I'm gonna say yes. But sometimes this can be a very regular occurrence, and it is very difficult to manage when one person in the house is dieting and the other person isn't dieting. And it brings about a lot of emotions and feelings of jealousy, negativity towards your partner or person in your home. And just like, I see this constantly in my own life and every one of my clients' lives. What can we do about it? How do we think through it? Let me give you all of my tips and tricks. So there's a couple of things that we can think. First off, it is that they're not on a diet. And when we expect them to love us in a very certain way that we have not told them to, we can have a lot of feelings of like letdown. So one thing that I'm going to really recommend is being very, very specific with this person of what you expect from them and what you would like to see from them as love. Okay. So for example, let's say I'm on my bodybuilding prep and I have to put everything into containers, and it's this huge task constantly every day that every single food needs to be weighed and put into containers. What if I asked my husband, "Hey, I would really appreciate it if today you could put all of my food in containers for me because I have a massively long shift and I'm not gonna have enough time. Like, could you please put my food weighed into containers?" Okay. My old self would have expected him to do this out of love, thinking, "Oh, I see that you have a busy day. I know you have to put food in containers. I should do that." But sometimes our male and female brains don't always sync up the same way, and I've learned that it is just best to ask for what you want. "Hey, can you please do this thing for me?" And I'm not saying they're always going to say yes. But if you give them the benchmark and the expectation of what you're asking for, at least they can choose to fulfill it rather than hoping that it just rains from the sky into their brain to help you. Okay? So that is like my first tip is say, "This is what I want." Secondly to that, it is setting clear boundaries. Okay? And sometimes like when we're taking on a fitness journey, it's because we really need to, and our health is at stake and it is important that we get fit, okay? So sometimes it's just like not an option to mess up. Like some people really need to be fit or fitter than they are right now for their health. And I think it is really important conversation to say to said person in your home, "Hey, I am doing this so that I can live longer. I am doing this so that I can feel better. I am doing this so that I can live happier and more in control, and like I want to break my food addictions and say like I would really appreciate your support, okay? And this is what support looks like to me, and this is what I'm looking for." Also setting boundaries and saying like if you're ordering something, either don't ask me if I want something, don't eat it at home, eat it at work, eat it in your car. Don't bring it inside because it's too hard for me to resist, okay? Set those boundaries of like, you, okay? If Oreos are your kryptonite, say, "I do not want Oreos in my home for the next long while until I feel confident that I could be around them and not eat them." And sometimes setting boundaries is a really uncomfortable situation for women because we're told to be meek and mild and like everyone before us. But like, fuck that, okay? Like, get over that part. Men talk to men this way. If your husband was at work and someone was eating his lunch, he would be like, "Bro, don't eat my lunch. Like, don't ever do it again," right? But women would be like, "Oh my God, I wonder if they're hungry. Like, I wonder if they need lunch. Like, should I say something? Should I not say something?" And like, we would go forever until like we had to say something for the most part. Stop doing that. Talk to men like men. If you are dealing with a husband who's eating your meal prep, be like, listen, that is my meal prep. And I'm sorry if that makes you uncomfortable, but do not eat it. Like, I portioned this. This is my food. If you would like to portion with me, let's do it together, but do not eat my lunch. This is my food. And again, this sounds aggressive and uncomfortable, but when we say that, they respect us most of the time. I don't know all of your people in your life, but again, men talk to men this way, okay? So when we confront them in a way that they understand and that's how they would confront you, it sinks into them. It sinks into them a lot more than guilt or anything. Like, just be black and white. That's how they think for the most part, okay? So one thing I want you to remember too is that sometimes people will be supportive for the first while, and then they'll stop being supportive because they're over it. They're tired of it, just like you are, but you need to keep focused, even if they're not focused. So one thing I want you to know is that you can diet alone, even though it's hard, even though you wish your partner was with you or you wish your whole family was dieting with you, you can diet alone, okay? And tell yourself that, like, you have all of the power. You are so capable of being successful without anyone joining in, just you. Sorry, there's this massive truck that's driving by, of course. The second thing I want to say is that you sometimes need to really focus on why you're doing this. Like, you're going to get to times where, like, you're tired of dieting. You just want to eat hamburgers, do your old things, like go get Chinese takeout and just say, fuck it. Like, girl, tell me, like, every week I have at least one moment where I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore, but I keep going because I have a why. I have a reason, right? And sometimes, like, you need to pick a really strong reason or a really strong goal to help you get through these times. So if you're the kind of person who is easily drifted off by a family member bringing home pizza or by going to a barbecue and everyone pressuring you, like, sometimes you just need to focus on a bigger reason why than just getting fit or like getting better looking. Like, let me tell you, getting hotter has never made anyone hotter, okay? Like, you need a bigger reason than that. Food is delicious, okay? So if you're finding that it's difficult to stay focused, sometimes you need to pick, like, I'm going to do a 5K run, or I'm going to book a photo shoot, or get serious about something that really makes you say, no, I'm going to stay in this uncomfortable zone and keep pushing. Okay, so just to recap, tell people what you expect from them. Don't just assume that they understand or that they know how to love you. Tell them, I would really like you to do this. This is really what would show me love. Set strong boundaries, like, no, you cannot eat my meal prep. This is something that I've chosen, that I've measured, that I've done. Do not disrespect how much hard work I'm putting in, okay? And lastly, know that you can do it alone and really lean into your why. Why am I doing this? Focus on that. Focus on that when it's hard, okay? Last thing is find an accountability partner. If someone is not accountable at home with you, find someone that you can lean on, that you can text, that you can really share your fitness journey with, so that you're not searching for someone at home to do it with you, okay? Really lean into someone who is a friend, who is maybe more advanced in dieting and exercise than you, that you can really have that connection with. That's all for today, and I hope these tips helped. If you have any other tips for dealing with crappy family member dieting situations, I would love to hear about them. So please comment or message me anything that you have, because I think this is such a valuable lesson and no one's talking about this. So let's talk about it more. Bye, guys.